Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our class for today, on our week 4 of project management. And our topic for today is project scheduling. Now, I shall be diving right into it. Now, what is project scheduling? Now, okay, on the introduction here, I said project scheduling is a core component of project management. Yes, it involves organizing tasks, resources, and time in a logical sequence to ensure a project is completed on time and within budget. Now, it is a well-structured schedule that helps stakeholders understand what needs to be done, when it will be done, how long it will take, and who is responsible. Now, without effective scheduling, even the most well-funded and well-intentioned project can go off track. Now, this is just a basic thing we should all know, that without planning your day or planning your life, or when you wake up, you tell yourself, okay, I'm going to spend the next 5 minutes praying. After praying, I'm going to bathe. After bathing, I'm going to prepare for work. Now, we all do scheduling in our life. That's why when we started this class, I told you project management can be applied to our everyday life. Now, moving forward, what is project scheduling? Now, I gave 2 definitions here, so you could choose to take the one you want. Now, project scheduling is the process of listing project activities, deliverables, milestones. I don't know why I can still not pronounce this. Deliverables. Wow. Milestone and dependencies along with planned start and finish dates. It provides a timeline for the project and is essential for monitoring and control. Yes. Now, my second definition goes by project scheduling is the process of outlining a project tasks, timeliness, and resource allocation to ensure efficient execution and timely completion. It involves creating a detailed plan that maps out the sequence of activities, deadline, and resource, in brackets, people, budget, and equipment needed for each task. Now, effective project scheduling is crucial for keeping project on tracks, managing resources effectively, and identifying potential issues before they escalate. Yes, so before they escalate into major problem. Now, yes. So in summary of all I've just read now, it is just scheduling, just outlining a project and a task, and outlining a person, just scheduling a job. I think it's something we use in our everyday lives, in class, in work, in school. As a teacher, you schedule your time. You have a time maybe from 10 to 11, you're teaching chemistry. From 11 to 12, probably break time, you've scheduled that you use the break time to mark the assignment you gave them previously. So scheduling is something we get to use in our day-to-day life as humans. Yes. Now, objective of project scheduling is basic things. It ensures timely completion of tasks. It identifies task dependencies and resource allocation. It helps monitor project progress, yes, which is one of the most important, because when you've scheduled your day or your projects, you could keep track. You could time it and keep track and see your success rates along the line. Now, number 4 here, I said it adjusts resources and timeliness to meet project goals. And number 5, it communicates project timeliness to stakeholders. Now, I want to assume this is self-explanatory, but quickly moving forward. Tools for project scheduling. Now we come to the main topic. Tools for project scheduling. Now, project scheduling can be done manually or with the help of digital tools. Now, I came here to list 2 of the most commonly used tools. Now, there are different methods used. Some people would include work breakdown structure, which we treated in week 3 as a tool used in project scheduling. If I could think of, there's another one I know of, but I can't remember the name. Now, but the 2 mostly used methods for project scheduling is the Gantt chart, one, and the network diagram. So I'm just going to quickly talk about it so we could dive right into it and, get done with it. Now, the Gantt chart. A Gantt chart is a visual representation of a project schedule showing the start and finish dates of individual tasks across a timeline. It is one of the most widely used scheduling tools in project management. Now, what are the features of a Gantt chart? What does using a Gantt chart implies? Number 1, tasks are listed on the vertical axis. Time is shown on the horizontal axis. Yeah, so if you did maths, which I assumed everybody do, the vertical is the one standing x, yes, and the horizontal is the y-axis. So if you are plotting a graph, now I want to assume everybody do know that, but if you don't know that, you could just look it up, the horizontal and the vertical axis. Now, each task is represented by a horizontal bar. The length of the bar shows the duration of the task. Now, dependencies can be shown with arrow linking tasks. Now, when we move further, I would explain that. Now, okay, I think I should explain before moving forward. Now, this is basically simple. The tasks are listed on the vertical axis. Yes. So let's assume we are plotting a bar chart now. Yes, the tasks on the vertical axis and the time shown on the horizontal axis. I think I should send an image that represents this. Okay, I will do that later. Now, each task is represented by a horizontal bar. Yes. Now, each task, a horizontal bar is drawn up to represent what task is being carried. Now, the length of the bar shows the duration of the task. Now, we told you that the tasks are listed on the vertical axis. Now, from the vertical axis, it is drawn towards the horizontal axis. Where is the time? Now, if, for instance, on the horizontal axis, we have 1 to 60. Okay, let's do 1 to 30. 1 to 30 being 30 days of a month. Now, if the chart coming from the vertical axis stops on the 6th or on the 7th number, you should know that task should be achieved at most on the 7th day. That is what the chart is just trying to show. Now, the dependencies can be shown with arrows linking the tasks. Yes, so I'll drop a chart and probably explain that better. Now, advantages of a Gantt chart. One, it is easy to understand. Now, for most of us, and I want to assume everybody who did pie chart and bar chart in our secondary school, a Gantt chart should be something that is very, very easy to understand because it is a clear pictorial depiction of what is happening in the project. Okay, just like number 2 says, it provides a clear visual of the task progress. Yes, so instead of having to do the writing and the note taking, some people are better with visualized images, so you learn well because it's a visual of the task progress. Number 3, it shows task overlaps and dependency. Yes, it shows what tasks depend on what tasks. It shows that if the task for day 7 is not done, it will affect the task for day 8. If the task for day 8 is not done, it will reflect on the time it will take to complete the task which should be done in day 28. So it helps you link all the tasks together, showing that the task for day 8 now would be would cause a obstruct to the one for day 30 if it is not done well. Then lastly, I said it helps track project progress in real time. Yes, because like I said, we are using 1 to 30 to deplete. I wish I could do this on my screen. Okay, to deplete the time frame. So you already know that, okay, I need to do it in 7 days. If you want to use it in months, you could do 1 to 12, your 12 months. You know that you have to finish up something in the first month. Sorry, they just brought that light, so I need to plug my gadget. Okay, yes, you have to finish one in the first month. You have to finish the second one in the second month, and you have to finish the third one in the third month. So that is what it implies. Now, limitations. What are the limitations of a Gantt chart? Now, it can become cluttered for large projects. Yes. Now, for projects which spans probably 2, 3, 4 years, a Gantt chart can become cluttered because depending on the size of your workstation or the size of your work, your board, probably you have a board you use as a team to show on track progress. It can become so cluttered because of time frame and everything. Now, I say it is not ideal for identifying critical parts directly. Now, I'll come back to this number 2 because critical part is ahead. So when we talk about critical parts, you will understand what I mean. Now, use case example. Yes, I want to start adding use case examples so that I stop saying assuming. I want to give you a real life example, probably the one I've experienced or the one friends of mine I have experienced. Now, in a website development project taken from my friend, not me, a Gantt chart might show 1, requirements gathering. Now, say you were asked to develop a website to serve a bank. Now, what's the first? Okay, let's not use a bank for instance. It is, let's say, a normal website. Now, you will have to gather informations for what the website is serving, what organizations. So you do your survey your survey, your scouting, your sourcing, whatever the situation might be at this case. Now, if you see here, we did 5 days. It requires 5 days to do that. You have a maximum of 5 days. Now, a Gantt chart has this advantage of you could finish your tasks before the provided time, but I think Nigeria has like, because of their KPIs, because of your KPIs, Nigeria like stressing out their tasks to the last day so that they don't get overburdened with another job. It's a Nigeria thing. Actually, is a general thing, but let's move forward. Now, after that, we move to the design phase. Now, you could see in bracket 10 days start after tax 1. Now, just like I said, the just like I said previously in this side tax, that dependencies can be shown with arrow linking taxes in this place. If we move forward, we see that starts after tax 1. So if you look at your Gantt chart, you're going to see that you cannot start your design phase until you've known the requirements for what you are designing. So regardless, you are provided 5 days to do your requirement gathering. So if your requirement gathering exceeds that 5 days, you cannot just start your design phase till when you are done. So say it takes you 7 days to do your requirement gathering and all your findings. Sorry, I'm trying to turn on my system now. And all your findings. Your design phase will start after that 7 days. That means you've extended and added 2 days into the project time, which will be detrimental to both you and your clients who contracted you to create the website. Now we move forward to development. Now, after designing the website, you probably submit for approval. It has been approved. We move forward to the next stage, which is the development stage, which takes 15 days according to this project we are talking about, and it starts after tax 2. Now, back to what I'm saying. Your tax 3 depends on your tax 2, and your tax 2 depends on your tax 1, and your tax 4 depends on your tax 3. Sorry. So just like I'm saying, it is necessary that you keep to your chart, because regardless of the dependencies, every day or every hour or every month you extend into a tax, it reflects on the overall project. So you cannot say because of my design phase instead of 5 days took 6 days, it does not bother concern who is designing. Of course it does, because you have increased the time frame it will take for the designer to do his design. I hope you guys are getting me. Now we are moving forward, and I'll be talking about, so when we were here, we talked about 2. We've talked about the Gantt chart now, so we are moving forward to the network diagram. Now, what is a network diagram? Now, a network diagram, also called a project network or a PET chart, is a flowchart like diagram that shows the sequence of activities and dependencies in a project. Now, there are 2 main types. The number 1, the activity on node. Tags are represented by nodes or boxes. Yes, if you go online, you'll see the images about this. I'm so sorry I could not deplete. I think I've made this slide before I thought about adding images to the slide. Now we have the number 2, the activity on arrow. Now tags are represented by arrow, and events are represented by nodes. Now what are the key concepts in the network diagram? 1, nodes represent tags. 2, arrow shows dependency between tags. And lastly, number 3, diagram helps identify the critical parts. Yes, I did in brackets more on this later because I'll talk about it in front. Now, what are the advantages of a network diagram? 1, it identifies the sequence of tasks. Number 2, it helps calculate earliest start and finish dates. Number 3, it clearly shows task dependency. Number 4, it's crucial for identifying delays and bottleneck. Number 5, the limitation. Sorry. What are the limitations? Can be complex for beginners. Requires accurate estimation to be useful. Now, I should just add, sorry. Now, over time, I know how to use both the Gantt chart and the network diagram because I had to take I've taken several classes on project management, both paid, free, sponsored, friends and families, benefit and stuff. Now, but it is important you know everything because it is your field of study. But I would advise that you always stick with the Gantt chart because it is more easier, more user-friendly, and I think it's just more better. It saves you the stress of, I don't know, for me, I feel it is more better because it is far easier and far user-friendly to use. Now, back to this thing for use case example. Now we are using the same website project we stated. Now, task A, requirements, the same requirement finding. You start. Now, no time is given in the network diagram. Time is not given. Now, task B, you design, depends on time A. On A, task A, sorry. Development depends on B. Testing depends on C. All tasks are shown with arrows and dependencies. So it basically works as a same method with the Gantt chart, just that it is a different interface. Yes, more of like a different interface and more. How do I put it now? It's more exponential. It's more complicated to use actually. Complicated is not the right word, but it's much advanced. Yes, that is the word I'm looking for. Now we'll move forward to understanding milestones in project scheduling. Now, what are milestones? A milestone is a significant event or a point in a project timeline that marks the completion of a major phase or deliverables. Yeah, I got it this time. Deliverables. Wow. Milestones do not have duration. They are simply checkpoints. Now, why are milestones important? They help monitor progress. One, they highlight important achievements. Two, they serve as decision points. Go/no go. Should I go forward or should I not go forward in this direction? Four, they aid in reporting and communication. Now, let me use. Okay. Their example. Okay, the example. Okay, thank you. Fine. This slide is so much nice. I think I liked this slide more in all the slides I've made. Now, examples of milestone, which I was just going to give example using the same design. Now, the completion of a design phase, just like we talked about. Now, the design phase, which we stated in the Gantt chart to take 5 no, can I go back and see? Okay, the design phase will happen 15 days after start of job because requirement phase takes 5 days and the design phase take 10 days. That means the design phase completion will take 15 days from commencement of a job. Now it is defined as a milestone because at the design phase your client would see a design is more like a render, what's the word we use in construction now? A prototype. Yes, it's more like a prototype. So you're creating a prototype of what you are working on, so your clients can get to see, okay, this is what I'm expecting. Now it is determined, it is tagged the milestone because this design phase tells whether in the number 3 point of why a milestone is important, serves as decision point. Should we go or no go? So if what your clients see, they are comfortable with it, you would be asked to go forward. So that is one of the importance. So it serves as a point of even reporting and communication. Now, if at this design phase your client feels, oh, no, I don't like this thing you designed there, why can't we make it this? Yes, it has saved you the stress of having to have gone through what is the last past year. They have developed it and your client is coming to tell you, no, I don't want this. So the design phase helps in checking. So if you see, okay, yes, in the definition of milestone, we say they are simply checkpoints. So it helps you in checking along the line and along the stages what you are doing. Now, number 2 of examples is client approval of prototype, which I even say, launch of beta version, final delivery to client. So these are just check of milestones using the same website as an example. So these are checks that are put in place to do your milestones. Now, how to use milestones in scheduling. Number 1, we say mark them clearly in a Gantt chart or project software. Number 2, you link them to critical tasks or deliverables. I still cannot pronounce this thing. And number 3, you use them to evaluate if the project is on schedule. Yes, that are the 3 ones I listed now, but there are many others, but I think these are basically the major ones I listed. I'm trying to get all my notes from part 1 to part 2. Part 1 to week 4 now, so I could send it to the group chat. Yes, I'm trying to compile them because I promised. Now, understanding the critical parts, which we mentioned earlier. Now, the critical part method is a fundamental scheduling concept. Sorry, just trying to see my laptop. Project management. 1 minute, please. Oh, wow, I have several notes on that. Okay, we're back now. Oh, sorry. Okay, I'm back now. Now, the critical path method is a fundamental scheduling concept. It identifies the sequence of dependent tasks that determine the minimum project duration. If any task on the critical path is delayed, the entire project will be delayed unless corrective action is taken. I come again. The critical path method is a fundamental scheduling concept. It identifies the sequence of dependent tasks that determine the minimum project duration. If any task on the critical path is delayed, the entire project will be delayed. Key terms: critical path, longest duration path through a period. Float or stack, the amount of time a task can be delayed without affecting the project. I love critical paths when teaching project management. Affecting the project end date. Zero float, the tasks on the critical path have zero floats. Now let's move forward, then I'll come back. Now, steps to identify critical paths. Yes. Number one, we list all the project activities. Number two, we determine task duration. Number three, we identify dependencies between tasks. Number four, we build a network diagram. Number five, we calculate early start and finish, early finish, late start and late finish. Those are what we are calculating for. I'm listing it. I'll come back to explain. And number six, we identify the part with the longest total duration, the critical part. Yes. Now, let me just talk about it before I move to the benefits. Now, critical paths, just like it states here, it's a scheduling concept. It identifies the sequence that determines the minimum project duration. It just helps you tell the minimum time. Back to our website creation. Now, I'm going to go back to this slide, and I want to gather something. Okay, we have 5 for first tax plus 10, 15, plus another 15, that's 30, plus 5, that's 35. Now back to critical paths. Now we are 35, yes, for those tasks, so I'll use it now. Now, critical tasks helps you in identifying the minimum time it will take you and the maximum time it will take you to do a project, using our website as a case study. Now, we had 35 weeks earlier, 35 days, yes, earlier, from our examples on using Gantt charts and network diagram. Now, let's assume that 35 days after critical path have been taken into consideration is the minimum time it will cost you. Is the maximum time. That is what I'll use, because the thing with project management is when you are determining your critical path, you have to deal with your maximum time when presenting a project, because you calculate for obstacles, foreseen or unforeseen, hindrance, delay in purchase, delay in labor, delay in a lot of things depending on the kind of project. Now, the critical path just helps you, just like we said here in calculating. You calculate the number 5 points where say calculate. You calculate the early start. How early can you start a project, and how early can you finish it? Say I start this morning by 8 a.m. How early would it take me to finish a job of 8 hours? Yes, let's use a job of 8 hours. Probably traveling. Let's say you want to travel from Abuja to Lagos, and assume it takes 6 hours, to go. Now, the critical part will do this for you to calculate the earliest time you can start your journey. So you start your journey at 6 a.m., yeah? How early would you get to Lagos, considering the 6 hours journey, considering probably obstacles, a hold-up, a traffics on the road, would give maybe account a plus or minus 2 hours. Now, that is 8 hours. So that means the earliest time you can get to Lagos after considering all these obstacles is 2 p.m. That is 8 hours. Now, the critical let me rephrase this question. How long would it take you to get to Lagos before 6 p.m. should be the question. Before 6 p.m. because you are considering not arriving late. You want to get to Lagos before 6 p.m. and you don't want to arrive late. Now, we are considering the critical part here. Now, we say the earliest start, which we said 6 a.m. here. We consider the earliest you'll be up and ready and you are prepared and everything. The 6 a.m. The journey is 6 hours. Your obstacles and everything being taken into consideration, 2 hours. That's your journey is 8 hours. So your critical part starts considering for your earliest finish, you start from 6 a.m. That means your earliest arrival would be 2 p.m. Now, to know your late finish and your late arrival, knowing fully well that you want to arrive at most 6 p.m., you calculate backward your 6 p.m. upward from 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 12, 11, 10. So what time would I get in the road that would take me 8 hours that I would have to arrive at exactly 6 p.m.? Yes, you considered, and if you are doing that consideration, I think that's by 10 a.m. So your latest traveling time to leave your house is 10 a.m. and your earliest traveling time to leave your house is 6 a.m. So that is what the critical part basically talks about. Now, what is the benefit of knowing critical parts? Number one, it focus management attention on critical tasks. Yes, you now know that, okay, since the it takes me 6 hours to drive, 2 hours on hold up. So you'll be so consistent to utilize your 6 hours in driving, regardless of any obstacles that may come. Number two, it helps in effective resource allocation. You know how to, I don't know how to use driving now to do this, but it helps you allocate your resources effectively. Number three, it aids in, sorry, a minute. It aids in making informed decision if delay occurs, because you have already accounted for possibly and probable delays along the way. Number four, it supports proactive risk management. Yes, and I think that's all. Now, okay, just before we wrap up, I think this is almost the last. Yes. Now, what are modern scheduling tools and software? So I added this for your benefit. You can go read up on them, download most of them on your phone and your systems. We have the Microsoft project, which I think everyone should have. I think, is it paid? I'll check my own to know if it's paid. Most of these are paid, actually. You should know. We have the Primavera P6. It is used in construction and large-scale project. I have that one because I'm a construction personnel, so I will tell you. We have the Asana/Trello. It's a visual planning tool. I've used that too. We have the smartsheet/monday.com/clickup. It is user-friendly with Gantt and timeline view. And we have the Jira, which is commonly used in agile software projects, which I do have too. Now, these tools offer drag and drop scheduling, real-time updates, collaboration, automatic critical part calculation. It saves you the stress. See, the thing about modernization is it has helped project managers do your job. You just have to be there you just have to be there as a human thinking person. But there are tools to help you really do this job. Now, it helps in resource and budget tracking because it is automated. Now, the best practice in project scheduling: number one, you break down work clearly, use work breakdown structure. Number two, you define dependencies explicitly. Number three, you estimate time realistically. Avoid optimism bias. Don't be optimistic. Don't say, oh, this driver is a fast driver and I should be able to drive this length of the road in 5 hours. No, you should be realistical, not optimistic. Number four, you update schedule regularly. Yes, you keep in touch with your schedule, which is part of where we talked about milestones. Yes, it still boils down to milestone. Number four, we account for risk and uncertainties. Yes, I stated that earlier when you're doing the driving test. Number five, we communicate with the team, ensure everyone understands the timeline. Yes, this is very, very much important. You should not be the only one who have the timeline in your heart. You should make sure your full team has the timeline and are working alongside with you. Because if one person does not work, probably if the designer does not work along with you, it will affect the person who is supposed to do the prototype, thereby increasing the timeline it will take to do a project. Now then, finally, you use milestone to track your project. Now, in conclusion, project scheduling is more than just date charts. It is the heartbeat of effective project. I think you can read this. Now, in summary, use the right tools for planning. Visualize dependencies and adjust in real time. Identify and protect the critical parts. Celebrate and track milestones. Celebrate your little milestones. Even in life, celebrate the little things. Okay, I graduated. That's a milestone to me becoming a doctor. I'm done with my secondary school. What's next? I'm going to university. Okay, I got admission. I'm celebrating. I'm graduating after 6 years. I'm celebrating. I'm going for my, what do they call that in med school? Yes, you celebrate. After med school, you're going for probably your internship, your service. I don't know where medical line, how it works. But you celebrate and track milestones and stay in track. You keep your schedule live, flexible, and transparent. Now, I finished by saying a good project schedule doesn't just show when things will happen. It helps ensure they actually do. Now, I started rushing at the end of my class just to end it up. But thank you very much. Sorry for my sister's interruption. So I think we are done with that. So thank you very much. And we've come to the end of week 4. So have a nice week.